For more than a decade, the names Song Ji-hyo and Kim Jong-kook have been whispered together like the chorus of a long-running ballad, sung by fans across Korea and beyond. To millions of viewers of Running Man, they were SpartAce, the unstoppable duo. The ace and the commander, locked in a flirtatious dance that blurred the lines between performance and reality. Every smile, every protective glance, every inside joke on set became fuel for the fandom's wildest dreams. And yet, year after year, both stars denied the possibility. It's only entertainment, they would laugh. And the audience would pretend to believe them. But now, in the late summer of 2025, that fragile illusion has shattered in the most sensational way imaginable. Song Ji-hyo, the fearless ace, is pregnant. Father is none other than Kim Jong-kook, the nation's eternal bachelor, and the man who once vowed never to bend under pressure. Faced with the undeniable truth, Kim has finally agreed to marry her, not out of choice, but out of obligation, in what tabloids are already calling the wedding of the decade and the scandal of the century. It began as a ripple, born on fan forums and whispered by eagle-eyed netizens who noticed that Ji-hyo had been absent from several scheduled events. She wore looser clothing, did her stomach with handbags, sipped tea instead of champagne, and declined late-night gatherings with colleagues. Soon, paparazzi photos surfaced, blurry images of her leaving a clinic, her face half hidden beneath a mask. Within hours, speculation turned into certainty. Ji-hyo was pregnant. At first the identity of the father was unclear. Some suggested a wealthy businessman. Others recalled an old boyfriend. But the internet does not rest until it has a villain or a hero. And quickly the spotlight narrowed on Kim Jong-kook. Old photos resurfaced. A grainy image of the two leaving a Gangnam restaurant at midnight years ago. A clip of Jong-kook instinctively shielding Ji-hyo from a flying ball on Running Man. Suddenly, narrative wrote itself. It was always him. By early August, the rumor had morphed into a firestorm. Jong-kook, the iron-willed commander, was forced into marriage by Ji-hyo's pregnancy. Hashtags like Ji-hyo pregnant and forced marriage trended worldwide. Fan-made videos went viral, cutting together years of SpartAce moments with dramatic ballads, painting their love as both inevitable and tragic. For shippers, this was vindication. Their fantasy had become reality. For critics, it was betrayal. Revelation that their idols had lied for years. The industry, it was chaos. Kim Jong-kook, once praised for his discipline and privacy, was now cast as a reluctant groom. Sources close to him claim he was blindsided when Ji-hyo told him the news earlier this summer. For weeks he agonized between his desire for control and his sense of duty. To remain silent would risk scandal. To walk away would destroy his image as a man of loyalty. In the end, there was only one option: marriage. Insiders claim he made the decision quietly but firmly, telling friends, "I will take responsibility. That is the only way." Song Ji-hyo, meanwhile, found herself transformed from ace to subject of scandal overnight. Known for her boldness and independence, she once told interviewers that marriage and children felt distant from her life. But life, with its brutal irony, chose otherwise. Fans say she was terrified at first, unsure how to tell the world, but gradually found strength in the storm. She's not ashamed. One confidant said. She knows this will change everything, but she's ready. The public response was nothing short of explosive. Within 24 hours, every major news outlet from Seoul to Los Angeles carried the story. Tabloids screamed headlines like "Pregnant Ace Traps Commander" and "Running Man Baby Shocks Nation." Twitter burned with divided reactions, celebration from SpartAce fans who declared their decade-long loyalty justified, fury from conservative audiences who saw the pregnancy as a scandalous breach of tradition, and disappointment from fans who felt betrayed by years of denials. International gossip sites compared the revelation to Hollywood's most shocking scandals, while Korean talk shows dissected every detail, speculating on how the stars would salvage their careers. Behind the scenes, preparations for the wedding accelerated. Originally, Kim Jong-kook had planned a small, private ceremony with a non-celebrity partner, at least according to whispers earlier in the summer. But the revelation changed everything. Suddenly the bride was Song Ji-hyo, and the secrecy was impossible to maintain. Invitations were sent in haste, families gathered, and colleagues from Running Man were stunned into silence. Ha reportedly exclaimed, I thought SpartAce was just fanfiction. Yoo Jae-suk, ever the diplomat, refused to comment. Insiders suggest he had long suspected more than he let on. The wedding, scheduled for late September, shaping up to be the most scrutinized event in years. Security teams are preparing to block paparazzi drones, and venues are considering blackout curtains to prevent leaks. Yet despite the couple's desire for privacy, the nation is hungry for details. Who will attend? What dress will Ji-hyo wear? Will Jong-kook sing at his own wedding? The questions multiply, and every whisper becomes headline fodder. Scandal has also ignited broader cultural debates. In South Korea, where traditional values still hold sway, pregnancy before marriage is frowned upon, especially for celebrities. Critics accuse Ji-hyo of trapping Jong-kook. Defenders argue that love is love, and that a couple deserves happiness regardless of circumstances. Sociologists note that the case reveals a nation at a crossroads, torn between conservatism and modernity. Advertisers are equally conflicted. Some brands consider cutting ties, fearing backlash from conservative consumers. Others see an opportunity. SpartAce-themed campaigns could dominate for years, cashing in on the fairy tale-turned drama. Already, fan-made merchandise featuring cartoon versions of Jong-kook, Ji-hyo, and a baby is flooding online marketplaces, selling faster than it can be restocked. The toll of the scandal, however, is less visible. Sources close to Ji-hyo say she cries often, overwhelmed by the attention, yet steels herself with the thought of the baby. Is described as sleepless, spending long hours at the gym, working out his anxiety on the treadmill. The couple reportedly argue often but remain united in their decision to marry. It's not easy, a friend revealed. They're under pressure from every side, but they do care about each other, and they both want to protect the child. As the wedding approaches, the story only grows. Foreign media call it Korea's royal wedding. Fans camp outside venues, hoping for glimpses. Rumors swirl that Ji-suk-jin will MC, that Ha-ha will perform a comic routine. Yoo Jae-suk will deliver a heartfelt speech. Every detail is magnified, every possibility dissected. And through it all, the couple remains silent. Their only statement a request for privacy that has gone largely ignored. The SpartAce saga has become more than just gossip. It is a mirror of society's obsessions. It exposes the hunger for romance, thrill of scandal, the cruelty of public judgment, and the impossibility of privacy in the digital age. It is a story of two people who tried to hide love, only to have it burst into the open in the most dramatic way possible. Whether the marriage will endure, whether the public will forgive, whether the child will grow up in peace, these are questions that only time can answer. But one thing is certain, the legend of SpartAce will never be the same again. What began as a playful love line on a variety show has transformed into the most shocking real-life twist in Korean entertainment history. For better or worse, Song Ji-hyo and Kim Jong-kook are no longer just co-stars, friends, or rumors. They are husband and wife, parents-to-be, willing protagonists in a drama more sensational than any script. And the world cannot look away.